In the previous video, we witnessed intense confrontations between dangerous predatory animals. But this time, the challenge is even greater. What would happen if a lion accidentally wandered into crocodile territory along the riverbank? Comment 1 if you're ready for the new battle. The dry season is blanketing the African savanna under the prolonged heat of the sun. Many small ponds and wetlands have gradually disappeared, forcing herds of animals to congregate around the remaining rivers in search of drinking water. Zebras, impalas, wildebeest, and buffalo are frequently seen along the riverine mudflats in the vast savanna. This is where life is most concentrated during the harsh dry season. But it is also here, the boundary between the two worlds began to appear. On one side lies a vast grassland teeming with terrestrial predators. On one side lies the murky, dark river teeming with underwater hunters. And at that fragile boundary, encounters between Africa's two top predators are sometimes inevitable. Lions are one of the most prominent predators on the African savannas. An adult can weigh around 550 pounds, possessing a muscular body, strong jaws, and claws that give them an advantage in many land hunts. They typically live in herds and cooperate with each other to hunt large animals such as zebras, wildebeest, impala, and buffalo. Besides hunting prey, the lives of lions are also intertwined with territorial and mating rivalries that take place across the African savanna. Adult males often have to defend the pack's territory against outside rivals. The roar, echoing for miles, is not just a warning to prey, it is also a way to assert territorial control over other lion prides. When two prides of lions both want to claim an area rich in food or water, these confrontations can last until one side has to leave. The right to mate is also the greatest reward for individuals strong enough to maintain a dominant position within the pack. In the vast savanna, very few species want to engage in direct confrontation with a pride of lions defending their territory. But as we approach the mudflats and murky waters of the Mara River, the familiar boundary of the grassland was gradually coming to an end. And at that water's edge, the power of the Savannah Lord is no longer an absolute advantage. Hidden beneath the murky waters of the river is a predator entirely different from those found in the grasslands. Nile crocodiles possess extremely strong jaws, a thick layer of armor protecting their bodies, and the ability to blend in almost perfectly underwater. Through millions of years of evolution, they have become masters of ambushes in the rivers and swamps of Africa. Zebras, impalas, wildebeest, warthogs, and many other animals must be especially careful when venturing. Unlike lions, which compete for territory in the savanna or protect mating rights within the pride, crocodiles spend most of their time patiently waiting underwater. It doesn't need to chase over a long distance. Large team collaboration is not necessary. The crocodile's advantage lies in its patience, ambush positioning, and ability to appear at the right time. And in the deep water and muddy environment of the river, crocodiles are arguably one of the predators with the greatest advantage. Just one moment of carelessness near the water's edge. The situation can change very quickly. One afternoon on the banks of the Mara River, a pride of lions slowly made their way down to the water's edge after hours of traveling across the vast grasslands. The alpha male walks ahead and approaches the river's surface to drink water in the heat of the dry season. Everything around us seemed very quiet. The water's surface was almost completely still, with hardly any noticeable ripples under the late afternoon sun. But beneath the murky water near the riverbank mudflats, a large crocodile was still lying motionless. The gap between Africa's two top predators is narrowing. And at the boundary between the meadow and the river, a remarkable encounter is about to take place. How will this encounter end? Leave your prediction in numbers. 0. Suddenly, water splashed violently in the muddy riverbank as the crocodile leaped out of the murky water, heading straight for the lion standing near the water's edge. The lion quickly retreated and reacted on dry ground, while the crocodile continued to hold its position near the shallow water. Each side tries to maintain an advantage in its familiar environment, one side a grassland, the other a river. After a few minutes of tense confrontation by the water's edge, the crocodile gradually returned to deeper water, while the lion continued to observe from a safe distance. The encounter ended with neither side gaining a clear advantage. And once again, the river has become a natural boundary between two of Africa's top predators. Having withdrawn from the confrontation with the lion, the crocodile patiently waited for another opportunity, and the next victim was a wildebeest. Savannah is changing. The once lush green lawns are now just a withered yellow expanse under the harsh sunlight. With dwindling food sources, wildebeest herds can no longer stay in their familiar habitat for long. Thousands of individuals began migrating across the vast savanna in search of new pastures with sufficient food and water. The sound of hooves echoed incessantly amidst the swirling golden dust behind the massive migrating caravan. But to continue that journey of survival, they will have to face the challenges that await them on the road ahead. After days of traveling across arid grasslands, the wildebeest herd finally reached the banks of the Mara River. On the other side of the river were greener pastures and the food source that the herd was searching for. But none of them were in a hurry to step into the water. They stood crowded together along the riverbank, constantly watching the murky water flowing slowly ahead. The sound of water echoed amidst the sweltering heat of the dry season. The instinct for survival seemed to tell them that hidden threats lurked beneath the river's surface. However, hunger and the arduous migration journey did not allow the entire herd to hesitate for too long. We want to keep moving forward. They will have to make a choice. And sooner or later, the first ones will also have to step into the river. While the wildebeest hesitated on the banks of the Mara River, others had been waiting in the murky waters ahead for a long time. Many Nile crocodiles lie still near mudflats and deep waters, along the familiar river crossing route of the migrating herds. They make almost no movement, only revealing their eyes and nostrils above the water's surface. Each year, the Great Migration presents a rare opportunity as thousands of animals gather at the same location to cross the river, and the crocodiles patiently waited for that exact moment. From beneath the murky water, all attention is focused on the herd of wildebeest on the shore. Now we just have to wait for the moment the first individuals step into the water. And when the river crossing began, the tranquility of the river will soon disappear. A wildebeest suddenly plunged into the water, dragging the entire herd into the river. The sound of hooves pounding, water splashing, and shouts echoed everywhere. As the first individuals approached the middle of the stream, the surface of the water suddenly erupted. Eventually, most of the antelope herd made it to the other side of the bank and quickly resumed their journey. No individual looked back, because in this great migration, everything must always move forward. If crocodiles reign supreme underwater, then on the grasslands, lions are the top predators. But this time, its opponent was not easily subdued. The dry season is enveloping the vast grasslands of East Africa, The prolonged heat wave has caused many areas of the savanna to gradually turn yellow, while the remaining patches of green grass are becoming increasingly precious. Many animals congregate around remaining food sources to conserve energy during the harshest time of year. Far in the distance on the horizon of Serengeti National Park, a herd of Cape buffalo is slowly making its way through the swirling golden dust at its feet. Heavy footsteps echoed steadily on the dry, cracked ground. They move in large groups, always keeping close together to protect the entire herd. On the African savanna, very few species would want to confront these giants with their enormous horns head-on, because these are among the most self-defense-oriented animal groups in the grasslands. The African buffalo is one of the most remarkably powerful animals in the savanna. An adult male can weigh from 1,100 to over 2,000 pounds, possessing a massive body and a pair of thick horns that combine to form a natural shield protecting its head. They live in herds, often consisting of dozens to hundreds of individuals, which enhances their ability to detect and respond to threats in the grasslands. The most common enemy of wild buffalo is lions, especially lion prides that hunt in groups. However, even successful hunts often require considerable effort and coordination from the predator. Unlike many other herbivorous animals that usually prioritize fleeing, wild buffalo are known for their tendency to stand still to defend themselves or assist other members of the herd when needed. Their strength, solidarity, and ability to react fiercely have led many researchers to consider them one of the most difficult prey to deal with in the African savanna. Far below the golden meadows of Serengeti National Park, a pride of lions lay low to the ground. They almost blend into the colors of the savanna under the prolonged hot sunshine. All eyes were focused on the herd of wild buffalo moving ahead. Lions are one of the few predators that can go head-to-head with adult buffalo, but it's never an easy task. A powerful butt from a pair of large horns, or a well-timed reaction from the entire pack, can bring the hunt to an unexpected end. Therefore, instead of charging in immediately, the lions patiently observe and search for the individual that is easiest to separate from the group. But after many days without a successful hunt, hunger is making the pressure even greater. and on that tranquil savanna, a hunting plan is gradually taking shape. The herd of wild buffalo continued to move slowly across the low grasses in the vast savanna. Meanwhile, a large male began to fall behind the main group. The distance wasn't great enough to create complete separation, but it was enough to attract the attention of the lions watching from afar. The lionesses immediately changed positions, spreading out to the sides to approach from multiple directions. They moved slowly, using the terrain and the yellow grass to conceal their presence. While the buffalo continued walking with the herd, the predator's encirclement is also gradually shrinking. There was no roar. No chase is taking place at this time. Only silence stretched across the meadow, while both sides are waiting for the decisive moment. Please hit like to give the buffalo good luck as it faces one of Africa's most fearsome predators. A lioness suddenly leaped out of the bushes, followed by the entire pride attacking from multiple directions. The wild buffalo immediately turned and fought back, continuously using its powerful horns to maintain distance and force the predators to dodge. Dust blanketed the savanna as the fierce struggle raged. The lions took turns closing in, trying to split and weaken their prey, while the buffalo persistently fought back against each attack. After several minutes of confrontation, the buffalo's strength gradually diminished. Although they fought until the very last moments, the advantage began to shift in favor of the lions as the encirclement tightened. After the fight with the wild buffalo, an easier opportunity seemed to appear. A warthog is crossing the meadow right ahead. The first rays of sunlight gradually spread across the vast grasslands of Africa. The thin layer of mist that still lingered began to dissipate in the warmth of the sun, revealing low-lying thorny bushes and termite mounds scattered throughout the savanna. Many animals gradually leave their shelters to begin a new day of foraging. In the midst of that vast, arid land, old earthen burrows appeared near familiar animal trails. This is where warthogs typically rest, nurse their young, and seek refuge from the heat during the peak hours of the day. However, these seemingly peaceful areas often attract the attention of predators looking for opportunities. And in this quiet morning on the savannah, an unexpected encounter was gradually forming amidst the golden grass still damp with dew. The trails around Serengeti National Park show that this is a place where many animal species regularly move to find food and water. Warthogs are easily recognizable by their low profile, with a body length of about 5 feet and weighing around 330 pounds. They have rough, gray skin, a large head, and 2 pairs of prominent bumps on their face, along with a pair of curved tusks protruding from either side of their mouths for self-defense. When running, the tail held upright is a distinctive and easily recognizable sign in the grasslands. They live in small groups and are capable of rapid bursts of speed to escape danger, although they spend most of their time digging for food underground. However, this area is also home to many predators familiar to the savanna. Lions typically hunt in prides, coordinating their efforts to surround large prey. Leopards are solitary animals, relying on ambushes and quick, short-range attacks. Hyenas are also notable for their endurance, often pursuing prey in groups until it is exhausted. Far ahead, a mature warthog was crouching low, digging up tree roots, completely unaware of the dangers observing from a distance. On the savannah, just one wrong moment, and everything can change very quickly. Far behind the low, thorny bushes of Serengeti National Park, a group of lionesses lay pressed close to the ground amidst the tall, yellow grass. Their bodies blend almost seamlessly into their surroundings, with only their ears visible, constantly pointing forward. His cold, sharp eyes never left the warthog foraging in the distance. After a long and exhausting hunt, the entire pack was looking for a less risky opportunity to replenish their energy. This time the prey was smaller than the wild buffalo, but faster and more alert. However, if the ambush takes place at the right time, the chances of success will be much higher. The warthog continued to move further away from its familiar burrow in the savanna of Serengeti National Park. It ventured out into open grasslands, where food was more readily available but also offered less shelter. The distance from the shelter area increased, opening up a wider and more difficult-to-control space for all movements around. In the distance, the lionesses began to change positions slowly and in an organized manner. They spread out, moving in circles in many different directions to gradually close in on the prey's area of activity. The wind continued to blow steadily through the golden grass, erasing even the slightest signs of presence. Warthog continued to hunch over, searching for food, unaware that the space around him was gradually shrinking. At this point, which side are you leaning towards? Comment with the number 2 if you choose warthogs. A lioness suddenly leaped out of the bushes, initiating a chase across the savanna. The warthog immediately accelerated, heading straight for the nearest burrow while the pride of lions simultaneously closed in from multiple directions. When they were only a few meters from the cave entrance, a lion suddenly lunged in from the side. The warthog repeatedly used its tusks to fight back, creating a dusty struggle right in front of the cave mouth. Drop an emoji if you've ever seen a warthog escape from a lion in wildlife footage. Despite its efforts to escape, the warthog was gradually cornered as the pride of lions surrounded it from multiple directions. After several minutes of fierce resistance, the chance of returning to the cave gradually faded.
It's incredible to see this. Yeah, surrounded by lions there. Oh, yeah.
Among the swamps, rivers, and flooded grasslands of South America lives an animal renowned for its gentle appearance and calm temperament. capybara. This is the world's largest rodent. An adult animal can weigh over 60 kilograms and spends most of the day grazing, resting, or soaking in water. But behind that seemingly peaceful life lay countless dangers lurking at every turn. Lacking sharp claws, superior speed, or significant self-defense capabilities, capybaras are ideal targets for many predators in South America. In the flooded forests of the Amazon and Pantanal, jaguars regularly hunt capybara as one of their most important food sources. With its perfect ambush capabilities and superior strength, the jaguar can easily take down a fully grown capybara in just a few seconds. Even when they sense danger and try to jump into the water to escape, capybaras aren't always lucky enough to get away. Because beneath that murky surface, another threat lurked. Hidden within the murky waters of the Amazon and Pantanal lies one of South America's most successful predators. Caiman, close relatives of crocodiles. Although they don't reach the enormous size of Nile crocodiles, adult caimans are still formidable predators of the swamps. Their armored bodies, jaws full of sharp teeth, and perfect ambush abilities allow them to take down countless prey. Unlike predators that chase prey over long distances, caimans only need a moment of carelessness. They can lie motionless underwater for hours, waiting, observing, and striking in less than a second. Many water birds such as herons, egrets, and mallards are frequently targeted. When they land on the water to feed or stand motionless in shallow water, caimans can suddenly leap up from below. With a single precise bite, the prey vanished beneath the murky water before it could flap its wings and escape. Even snakes that live along rivers aren't entirely safe. Young water snakes or anacondas are sometimes attacked by caimans while swimming through narrow waterways. In many wetland areas, marsh deer and other South American elk species must frequently enter the water to drink or cross flooded channels. Caimans typically target the legs of their prey and pull them forcefully underwater. In Africa, the caiman's relative, the Nile crocodile, even hunts much larger prey, such as zebras. For many animals living along South American rivers, the water's edge is both a source of sustenance and the most dangerous place.